And we streaming to YouTube. See where we end up at. We give a little round of casual to YouTube.
Let's roll.
And we're gonna go to Mirage. Hopefully not with that same group of idiots.
Okay. Calm down. We won, guys. We won. Terrorist win. Just put your finger over counter.
Don't even own the bomb, and they're charging that bomb site like it was the last good place on Earth. Last source of peanut butter.
Holy dick! John Dickinson. Don't watch it. Somebody keistered it. Don't worry, it's safe. I heard that radio so much on the fucking car. The radio, the song, so much in the car radio. I wanted to open the door and jump out on the highway. Quickly, so they wouldn't have time to slow down.
Our terrorists, remaining terrorists, seem to be rather intelligent about regaining the bomb they have to win.
What the fuck?
You have to either kill all the counter-terrorists or plant the bomb, and they don't even have a bomb as of yet.
Yeah, what we do have is safe! Oh, you got owned! I swear to God, Miss Doctor just destroyed.
Move it, son.
Go, here we go, here we go. Now shrug. Look at games, but he's got 168 of them.
Magic. I hope nobody was watching that. I was dodging the bullets. Cause I'm so pro. I just dodged the fucking bullets. You got his ass. Owned. Hey Rick.
Oh.
Hey Rick.
Plant the bomb.
Rick.
Fuck.
Bubble up a dub dub.
I like the bomb.
We are out of here.
All right, here we go, here we go, here we go.
Flashbang. Deploying flashbang.
Bomb is down at T-spawn. Back of the palace.
You!
Lordy, lordy, lordy.
Are we rushing in? Or are we going sneaky beaky like?
Bomb is in the palace alley.
Diffusing. Move it, son.
Op laying on the ground there if anybody wants it.
Laying down smoke.
$69 in one hit.
Bro, it's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel flow. You should not kick me.
It's just a meme at this point, man.
England is my city. Yay, I win! Everybody wants me to
It's
be
just
here.
'cause it's fucking fun.
I'm so popular. Everybody wants me.
I don't think you understand how this works.
I know they want to win.
You're my
I know.
nutsack, man, a very stank. You're my ball sack built like a tank. Ball sack.
Let's go.
Oh.
Flashbang.
That's a definite A. Fourth rank private with a shotgun pulls that shot off. 100 hours in the game.
Don't kick this guy, he's great.
He is not great. What the fuck? He's like a babbling lunatic. You can go down to the corner of a drugstore and fucking hear the same shit.
Let's show them who we are. Incendiary out. Throwing a grenade.
Always a dumbass in every crowd. Yes, there is, ladies and gentlemen.
Move it, move it. Deploying flashbang. Incendiary. Smoke. Grenade out. Throwing flashbang.
Hmm.
Deploying flashbang.
You know who we should be kicking?
Rightio.
Good game.
Jump out of that for a second. Viewer count. Click to show the URL. I need to grab that. Boom. Drop that. Add a web page. Paste that and hit add. Now, place that right there. Save the scene. I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back. All right. Now, we're going to take a quick moment, go to the workshop because I need to test something. I need to try and find out. I got to see. Want to see for sure. Any mode is fine. All right. Now, we have done here simple. Going to do here, or I'm going to do here. I need to get my sensitivity set correctly that I can track, keep my sights on the target while moving. While I could go into a map of just regular map to do this, this actually makes more sense because it's an easier target to work with. Pick one. goal is to keep your sights on it or near it as best as possible. Now, right now I'm at 1.42. I'm going to try that as a base of 1. One I can do, but I think it's a little bit low. I think it needs to go back up. Try 1.28 and see how that. Maybe just a little bit more. Or 2. I think 1.5 is going to be it. Okay. All right. Reason for that little bit of experiment or adjustment. Complete a theory. My own theory that I made up the other day. Or not so much theory, observation. I have a 4.2 gig processor 32 gig of RAM, GTI 1060 video card, and I was using an SATA 6 gig data transfer speed hard drive. To do that same thing, I used to have to set my sensitivity at 3.8. Be able to track my target and keep it locked in. I had a used SSD hard drive laying around, and so I moved my operating system over to the SSD hard drive. I then found out I could move my sensitivities down to about 2.4 and still track those targets. So that's literally from 3.8 to 2.4, so 1.4 drop. I was then looking at the concept and the idea, well, let's test this a little bit further. Now, I ordered a new motherboard, same socket, so I could swap my processor, RAM, everything over. Except this new motherboard has an NVMe hard drive. Now, the NVMe drive I have is a 1 gigabyte a second data transfer, 4,000 megabytes. Not the fastest NVMe hard drive available, but it's what I could afford at the time for the test. So now my operating system is installed on that NVMe hard drive. Now, its communication speed between the peripherals and the motherboard and the processor are fast enough, literally at like 900 megabytes a second transfer compared to 120 out of the SATA hard drive and 250 out of the SSD hard drive. I have now been able to lower my mouse sensitivity from 2.4 to 1.5, almost a full point further, a point, yeah. So, you see all these CSGO tips and tricks, and they tell you that always keep your sensitivity really, really down here. That is true. These guys are all making their statements on, these are professionals, gamers, pro gamers. They probably already have motherboards with NVMe hard drives. They're not taking into consideration that the transfer rate of input from the mouse to the processor, input to the board to the processor and back to the video card, changes between speed of communication between the hard drive and the motherboard as far as drivers. So if you have an older, slower hard drive, a higher sensitivity may be needed. If you have a newer, faster hard drive, not as much sensitivity, like an SSD drive. You have a newer NVMe drive, even lower sensitivity because the communication speed is that much faster. Now, my ultimate test is to eventually buy a Samsung NVMe drive, one of the 960 EVOs, which communicates at 3.2 gigs per second. At that rate, I may be able to lower my sensitivity down to 5.5, I mean. On top of that, the extra beautiful luxury, the SAT hard drive would take about 3 to 5 minutes to boot up. Mind you, I've got a few weird audio programs that take time to set themselves in place. But with the SSD hard drive, it was down to 2.5 to 3 minutes. With the NVMe hard drive, I get a 10-second boot up. Fully functional, desktop is up, 10 seconds. And say you're playing a comp match and you get booted. You got a 3-minute window where you abandon the match and you take a penalty. Well, at 30-minute second to a 2-minute boot up time or longer, you just took a 24-hour ban. 10-second or less startup, because I'm hoping when I put that 3.2 gig per minute per second data transfer hard drive in there, that I go to a maybe 3 to 4 or 5 second boot up, at which time you're talking lightning fast. Oh my God. Now, in conjunction with this whole deal, what I have now also done since I changed over to the NVMe hard drive, I have moved all my game files, because the NVMe hard drive is only a 128 gigabyte. I moved all my game files over to the 120 gig SSD hard drive. So rather than having the slowdown of talking to the SAT drive to get all the images for shadowing and whatnot, which causes some stuttering in games as it's trying to get the files loaded into the processor and the memory, it's now able to pull that information off the SSD hard drive at a faster rate, almost double the speed, which in turn makes my gameplay better. And when I build my new motherboard, I will have 2 NVMe hard drives in it, one with the operating system on it, one with the games on it. That way, when I tell it to move, it's all going to be lightning fast speed. And I really can't wait to see how that's going to perform. To say I was horny as all hell for it would be an understatement. I have priced out the board I want. Well, 2 of them actually. There is a Ryzen 7 that I want to build, which is going to cost me about $1,000. I mean, well, about $1,700. Then I put together the specs on a Ryzen Threadripper, because the Threadripper, with its 36 cores or 16 cores and 32 threads and 64 PCIe lanes, would literally allow me to game, broadcast, and render a video, all 3 on the same computer at the same time, and still have less than a 70% CPU load. Unfortunately, the Threadripper motherboard and combo setup, the full setup with a Threadripper processor, 32 gigs of quad channel RAM, a 240 gig SSD Samsung 960 EVO NVMe drive, and a 4 gig or 4 terabyte SAT hard drive, and a GTX 1080 Ti video card. And it cost me a neighborhood of about $3,300 just in parts. So my hope is tonight I hit the lottery so I can afford to actually buy a dream like that. I'm not betting on it. Not my luck. Not my elite. My style of life. I'm not destined to win things like that. If I do, odds are I'll fall over dead the next day. But one can always hope. One can always hope. Looks like we're going to go to Inferno now. What kind of group of guys are we going to get this time? And or gals. Looks like I'm going to get to be a terrorist. Alright, we have a top fragger on our side that's got 14 kills. Next closest has got 7. see what we're dealing with here. 82 hours in the game. $130 in Game Tycoon.
Oh my god, I was so close. That's such bullshit.
He's either smurfing
Đủ má bắn dung chặt đi ba đĩ mẹ mày.
or he's hacking.
Yeah, dude.
Má tìm hai cái lột.
D Moody will have to be quiet. Fucking smoke. One of the key things that members of players of CSGO need to learn is where to and where not to throw a damn smoke. Because a poorly thrown smoke is what got me killed. Don't block your own shot zone with smoke. That just nothing but delays you getting into battle. Munodo, or however you want to pronounce that. Apparently he's just gonna just blow the round off by just running around nowhere near the bomb because he doesn't want to try by himself. I don't know.
Maybe he should shift one. Maybe don't peek it off. Need back. They have the bombs.
How did I not hit that son? Okay, let's just turn our back to him while he's being shot at. We're being shot. Yeah. That works. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Lordy. Guys left. All off by their lonesome. One guy left. No guys left.
Good strat, man. That really worked.
Like a truck cooking up a grenade.
Let's go, my friends.
I hit him for 40. Or as that didn't much matter. All right, who's on my team that is a problem child? Do I know? How much you want to bet? Yeah, I'm almost willing to bet you even money on it.
Hey guys. Hello.
Well, that's the end of that.
Bombs on B. Bombs on B.
Oy vey. All right. That is going to be the end of the broadcast for a little while. I will see you all again